2022 is the year for us to stop the decline in the ocean's health. We can do this if we all work together to control habitat destruction and stop harmful fisheries subsidies and better manage our fisheries sector and bring greenhouse gas emissions into compliance with the Paris Climate Agreement. Everything is connected, so we must not squander the great opportunities that we have this year to stop the decline. Protection of ocean biodiversity and maintenance of critical ocean ecosystem services must be the basis of our relationship with the ocean. At the same time, we can commit to a truly sustainable blue economy, one that will provide us with food security, medicine, renewable energy, and livelihoods for communities dependent on fishing and aquaculture and tourism. Solutions abound, so I'm delighted to be part of this launch of UNDP's second cohort of Ocean Innovators, this time on behalf of Sustainable Fisheries and Aquaculture. We all know of the harm being done to the ocean's ecosystems by harmful fishing practices. Thus, I'm pleased to introduce you to innovative leaders in the fight against illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing practices. With their inspiring innovations, these innovators make compelling cases for the role of data, traceability, and transparency in the management of the fisheries value chain. Let's wish them well.
The overexploitation of marine stocks often happens with complex and opaque dynamics, facilitated by poor regulations and governance to prevent and tackle illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. Our innovation will provide groundbreaking, nearly real-time and automated space-based maritime surveillance solution for illegal fishing. It will be based on a prototype we developed that can classify ship types through powerful remote sensing imagery and detect dark ships potentially partaking in illegal fishing activities. In partnership with the Mauritius Research and Innovation Council, Mauritius will be able to detect illegal fishing activities within its marine protected areas and exclusive economic zone, which is also a step forward in building ocean resilience by addressing overfishing, particularly for some tuna species in the Western Indian Ocean.
Distant water fishing, or DWF, is often connected to illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. Distant water fishing fleets have advanced capabilities and have been documented to exhaust fish stocks in one fishing area before hunting further afield, decimating fishing areas, particularly in the waters of lower-income countries. Our project will address a fundamental data gap related to distant water fishing fleets and inform sustainable fisheries policies in 5 developing economies, namely Senegal, Ghana, Peru, Ecuador, and the Philippines. We will visualize, define, and investigate the scale, form, and behavior of international and national distant water fishing fleets operating within the exclusive economic zones and surrounding waters of each country, and analyze these data to identify patterns and commonalities, as well as specific vessels. This will allow us to estimate the economic losses derived from distant water fishing activities and build a business case for stronger policy and enforcement reforms.
Peru's fisheries sector is a key component of the country's economy and is its second highest generator of foreign currency after mining. However, Peru's fisheries system is faced with regulatory problems. Most fishing vessels are informal and fall under the IUU category due to the lack of documentation and registration. Fortunately, the application of electronic cash documentation and traceability system can contribute to formalization and create economic efficiencies throughout the supply chain. With Ocean Innovation Challenge support, we will scale up the use of ProSap, a traceability system that allows users to follow the route of the fish in a different stage of the production chain. ProSap collects, store, share, and visualize pertinent data in real time, providing a range of benefits, including improved illegal fishing detection, modern insight data management, supporting informed decision-making, and transparent fisheries management. Fishers using ProSap will gain a better understanding and control over their catch and its commercialization.
The ocean is all around us. We depend on our ocean for food, income, and protection. The health of our ocean is dramatically changing. Innovation and new technology is vital for us to adapt to the challenges we face due to climate change. On average, for majority of the small island developing states, fisheries and tourism represent about 7% and 30% respectively of their incomes and exports. For some small island nations, tourism revenues make up to 98% of their revenue as well. So we know how critical the blue economy is to our development. 14% of all the people directly engaged in the fisheries and aquaculture sectors are women. Women represent some 50% of processing and marketing workers in both large and small-scale fisheries. Women's role in fisheries is therefore critical for us to secure in sustainable seafood value chains. Island nations is just 1% of the world's population. We may be small, but we have an important voice and proving ground in addressing a wide range of ocean sustainability challenges, from fisheries to pollution to climate change. We need to do more for our oceans. Innovators representing SIDS and least developed countries have found their voices through the UNDP Ocean Innovation Challenge. So I'm pleased to express my congratulations to this year's cohort of UNDP Ocean Innovators and the important contributions they are making to sustainable fisheries, aquaculture, and the overall blue economy.
In the Maldives, we say that women are the ones that turn fish into money. Unfortunately, we often struggle with delayed and unfair payment conditions, unreliable buyers and middlemen, and poor access to financial information, tools, and training. So we came up with this game-changing solution that will connect women fisherfolk in Gulf Alif Gemanafushi to an exclusive digital market platform to let them account for their own production and sales data, receive payments directly without a middleman, and conduct financial transactions online, build credit histories, and access financial tools. This will give women fisherfolk direct marketing and branding control over their fish products and augment their commercial value. The platform, which will be accessible on mobile, will support transparency and traceability in the small-scale fisheries value chain and give consumers access to product information. So the woman who processed it, the island it originates from, and potentially even the vessel type and the type of fishing gear that was used to catch the fish.
The Caribbean spiny lobster fishery is economically and ecologically important. Yet 36% of all Caribbean spiny lobster landings are considered unregulated. Our project will create a multidisciplinary and participatory approach to enhancing the sustainable exploitation of this fishery, using the Bahamas as a model of best practice. We will develop a novel genetic tool based on population structure data for Caribbean spiny lobster and its connectivity across the region, contributing to the critical sustainable management of wild stocks and stock enhancement programs. We will work directly with fishers to transfer the latest global grow-out aquaculture technology and management and co-design small-scale grow-out operations for spiny lobster. Lastly, we will engage with fishing communities as well as policymakers to raise their awareness of the importance of this fishery, the conservation challenges it faces, and the need to sustain science and aquaculture-based solutions to ensure long-term ecological and socio-economic benefits to the Bahamas and the Caribbean.
Small-scale fishers, who often operate on small boats not far from the shore with limited equipment, catch about half the fish consumed by humans. These small-scale operations also employ some 90% of people engaged in fisheries. Small-scale fishers are also more sustainable than their larger counterparts, with almost all the fish caught destined for human consumption. They also have a much smaller carbon footprint. Indeed, many small-scale fisheries often use hardware that has a lesser impact on the environment. Yet, many of these fishing communities are marginalized from decision-making processes, including discussions on resource management. Small-scale fishers also often lack access to technology, much-needed finance, and international markets. The United Nations Development Programme's Ocean Innovation Challenge aims to address this gap by identifying innovative approaches to ocean protection and restoration, helping to boost resilient livelihoods while advancing the blue economy. Such solutions do not just advance sustainable fishing. Scaling them up has the potential to be game-changing for small-scale fisheries, driving down poverty, advancing gender equality, and accelerating progress across the global goals. In short, the UNDP Ocean Innovation Challenge is precisely the kind of initiative which understands that the greatest hope for the 21st century lies in human ingenuity.
small-scale fisheries lack reliable access to electricity, technical knowledge on food safety and fish handling, and facilities to maintain a cold chain. This diminishes the quality and high economic value that the small-scale tuna fisheries usually generate. In Indonesia, about 60% of the value of large yellowfin tuna harvested by traditional handline fishers is lost due to inefficient supply chains, lack of infrastructure, poor harvest handling practices, and other inadequate systems that compromise fish quality. Our project aims to address these issues by deploying off-the-grid, solar-powered ice-making machines in remote fishing communities in East Indonesia to produce quality yellowfin tuna intended for high-value markets. This initiative will be combined with fishers upskilling to improve handling practices, cold chain protocols, financial literacy, and asset management, ultimately enhancing livelihoods in a climate-friendly manner.
Accurate data and assessments are cornerstones of well-managed fisheries, but only about 17 to 25% of stocks globally are assessed for stock status. Our project commits to adopting and fostering universal fishery IDs as an integral part of fisheries and seafood business operations and transactions. We aim to improve fisheries management through a more transparent flow of information through the seafood supply chain and to discourage harmful practices such as forced labor or slaying of vulnerable species as bycatch. The outcomes of the project will be a public database of fishery IDs to be hosted by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, and the validation of the Global Record of Stocks and Fisheries, which is the world's first database of unique fisheries and IDs. We'll test the IDs in two different supply chains, one representing a small-scale fishery in the Philippines, and the other representing an industrial fishery in Argentina. These pilots will inform our final deliverable, which is a business plan for how to best deploy the IDs to the rest of the global seafood industry and its stakeholders using existing and new technologies.
SmartFish's value rescue model is an innovative collaborative process that works across the seafood value chain. It links small-scale fisher cooperatives that adopt or maintain sustainable fishing practices to better paying markets that not only value premium quality seafood, but also environmental sustainability and social responsibility. By applying the value rescue model, cooperatives can transition from being price takers to entrepreneurs by developing their capacities to first increase the quality and value of their products, second, strengthen their organizations, and third, internalize fisheries management measures. The Ocean Innovation Challenges support will be used to accelerate and extend this blue economy solution to 15 cooperatives, train 300 fishers and value chain workers, implement digital traceability systems, construct or repurpose processing plants, design and install solar-powered cold chain facilities, and most important, increase the cooperative's revenues.
As one of the financing partners to the Ocean Innovation Challenge, we are delighted to introduce 2 of the 11 winners of the second cohort. These 2 innovators both took the challenge of ending the scourge of bycatch through innovative technologies. Gill nets are one of the most extensively used fishing gears, but when they are used, they often catch and kill other animals not targeted by the fishers. The efforts of innovators to stop the decline of threatened species and impacted coastal ecosystems should be celebrated. These types of innovations will provide both ecological and economic benefits, and we hope they will result in increased efficiency of fishing, benefit people depending on oceans for their livelihood, the ocean's well-being, and the overall increase of marine biodiversity.
Ecuadorian artisanal fleets produce some of the highest rates of endangered species fisheries bycatch in the East Pacific, and Ecuador accounts for approximately 40,000 turtles accidentally caught in the Southeast Pacific. Together with the Leatherback Project and Mare Nostrum, our project will test the effectiveness of bycatch reduction technologies in the nearshore gillnet fishery using a 3-pronged approach. Through community workshops, a human-centered design study, and scientific trials of 2 light devices, Centro and Pisces, to reduce turtle bycatch. This will be underpinned by a sustainable business model offering fishing crews additional access to export and the domestic market, made available by the Ecuadorian government's Acción Tiburón program.
Longline fishing gear, which consists of a mainline that is several kilometers long, is widely used in Costa Rica. From 2010 to 2018, Costa Rica longline fleets landed 9,200 tons per year, of which 65% accounted for vulnerable species, including sharks and billfish, and low efficiency of 33% for species of high commercial interest, such as mahi-mahi and tuna. Moreover, despite the significant market value, only 12% of the total tuna capture within the Costa Rican Economic Exclusive Zone are from the national fleet, while the remaining 88% is accounted for by international purseaners. In partnership with the Costa Rican Institute of Fisheries and Aquaculture, INCOPESCA, the University of Costa Rica Marine Science Research Center, CIMAR, and corporate buyers will consolidate innovative best practices in pelagic fisheries to reduce bycatch and capture of vulnerable species in the Pacific Economic Exclusive Zone. We will work with longline fishing groups to test the selectivity and economic viability of green sticks as alternative gear for pelagic fishery. This approach will foster responsible fishing value chain, pave the way for market incentives, and establish a certification for social and environmental responsibility compliance. We aim to contribute to the government's effort in converting Costa Rica's longline fishing sector into a high-efficiency and sustainable livelihood.